quite substantial. Tree limbs, glass, awnings, just about anything that has been put in a building that could fall off has, in fact, fallen off. And if you look down downtown Miami, you see the streets littered with debris, parts of buildings, parts of signs, just about everything you could possibly get in the middle of the street.
Look at this place, it's flat now.
He went in that direction. That's where the wind was coming from.
Let's go to Sports Authority.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, I'm always spared.
Pretty good.
Miami police are patrolling the streets of downtown. They think they may have seen a looter break this window and go into this building. They're searching it now. No, he got it.
Yo no venía hasta el momento.
Did you guys think you saw somebody in there, or did you just react? Or did you just react to the broken glass?
Rick Sanchez trying to catch.
You're expecting to see a lot of looters.
We have a lot to do here. The advisories are coming in almost every minute. I want to read these off to you right now. Water and sewer people, bus drivers, Metro-Dade Police Department, Alpha Shift cops, Dade County Housing and Urban Development maintenance personnel. They need you to damage assess. And one more reminder, the Miami Police Department is saying if you are...
Apparently there's a truck. It's turned on its side. It's quite strange as well.
Is it shocking?
It's shocking.
We're talking about here. Look at how thick these things are. Look at how thick these things are. You know how large they are. These are scattered everywhere. They've been torn off of the buildings up there and smashed all over this. Okay, it's completely open. Just a little bit further over. You want to see what kind of strength this storm had as it came through here? This is the guard shack, the entryway to this building. It's just been picked up and tossed over as if it were cardboard. Take a look up there on the balcony. Those are the kind of faces that we're talking about that we're seeing out here in South Dade, because the people just can't believe what we're seeing. As I told you earlier, the further that we go south, and they're blessings that they're here to see it, but it's incredible. It's just a scene as if a bomb has just blown up all of this out here. And
Carlos, excuse me a moment. Let me ask you a question. I'm wondering, were most of these people in their homes last night when the hurricane hit, or did they evacuate?
Actually, Penny, most of these people were in these homes, is what they were telling us. They're coming out now and taking a look and really assessing the damage and looking around. I think that's why the shock is registering. As you see this woman over here with her baby, you were telling us, ma'am, that you actually had stayed a bit... The roof is not gone at your place?
There's leakage, but it's still there. The roof is there. We live here, over here.
So you're better off here. You would have been storm?
The homes stood up. The roofs, they were strong. They didn't stand up. But the homes, the interior damage, we didn't have much. The windows... Maybe that is something that we do have to take into account. Again, we do have one unconfirmed report of a death further south here. As I told you, the further south that we go, I mean, you can compare these pictures to pictures we had just a couple of minutes ago. Actually, I think we've got some tape, and you've got a disadvantage. I can't see you. You can see me. If we've shown that tape, I could just ask you to go to that tape and refer to it, where the damage was done to the cars, where the barrel tile, knocked over trees, roofs gone. People are just stunned and outside trying to imagine. You can hear the sirens going off around us now. There's a lot of emergency vehicles that are moving through the area. Everyone is trying to figure out what is going on and what they're going to do. And you can just see, I mean, this is a scene of... I sent her into the worst part of the storm. Many of us were invited to go out to West Dade because we were fearing the storm surge, not knowing, as you can't pinpoint these things, not knowing where the storm was going to come ashore.
I was right next to an evacuation zone.
He's asking President Bush to declare Dade, Broward, Monroe counties federal disaster areas, which would entitle us to some aid. Fort Lauderdale Airport is open now, opened at 12:30, about a half hour ago. It's a madhouse, though, but planes are now landing.
Of course, we've got enough of our problems to deal with right now. Is the storm going to regenerate in the Gulf of Mexico? And there certainly is that possibility.
Not all day.
We're still going to see showers and thunderstorms. Hearing coming in here, I guess Derek might have gone through a thunderstorm, and we're still. I think the danger is going to be with the breezy conditions, the occasional gust, and these street lights that are hanging by a thread, and the power lines that are hanging also.
Watch where you walk.
Is that partly what's going to hamper FP&L's efforts, the continuing rain?
Hi, this is Dean Goodman. Continuous and up-to-date news, so you will be prepared.
If you can't see it on Channel 7,
Sparks Park.
hear it on Love 94. Until the threat of Hurricane Andrew passes, Love 94 will provide you with a continuous simulcast of WSBN TV7's comprehensive storm coverage. The most accurate information, updated instantly, to keep you informed, in touch, and out of danger. Love 94 is WLVE, Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and the Palm Beaches.
That's where we would have been.
As Hurricane Andrew affects South Florida.
Very strong winds out here right now. The beach is really off limits. We had to beg, borrow, and steal to get out here, and you don't want to come out to the beach right now. Just take a look at what we're standing in. As far as a little bit further west, US 1, not much better shape there either. A lot of trees down, a lot of power lines. A lot of signs have been blown out or knocked over by the wind. Lots of live power lines lying on the ground, so it's really, really not safe at all. Heavy rains out here right now. You can see we're standing right in the middle of it. Now, my colleague Rick Leventhal has been up and down A1A, and he's seen some of the worst of the damage. Rick, tell them about what you've seen out there.
Okay, well, I wanted to show everybody what I saw. Can we plug this radio in so I can hear it? I wanted to show everybody what we saw out on A1A this morning. We've been all up and down the coast. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times in the weather like this is that the tape gets wet, and this is the reason why they've closed it down. One of the reasons is because there's sun over the bridges onto the beach at this time, so don't even think about coming out here. Over here, these people did board up the storefronts down below, but take a look in that window right there. Their glass window was blown out, they believe, by a sign just below the window. I just talked to those folks a minute ago. They said that they did suffer some water damage in there, but it's pretty minor. It's not too bad. Right over here, Alexander Park, a lot of trees have been snapped in two. You see that all over town. That was one of the things we saw on A1A, which is closed. I don't know.
Boats in the Coconut Grove area, Dinner Key Marina, at least a dozen boats have sunk. These are relatively small boats, I'm guessing, from this news. Several others were overturned, but witnesses say many of the other small boats did survive and have absolutely no damage at all, while, again, others were just picked up and kind of tossed onto Bayshore Drive, so it's kind of a mixed bag there. One guy says that he helped rescue a man who was trapped in shallow water. He had both legs broken. The guy is okay. The storm surge had picked him up and thrown him, but at this point he's rescued. He's hospitalized. He is okay.
As you are looking through those, I'm getting something in my ear from our producer talking to me so that you can keep your train of thought there. There is now a curfew in effect for the entire Dade County area. Earlier we said 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That had pertained only to Miami, so this is spreading out to the entire Dade County area. Another tidbit, Miami International Airport is going to be closed for the entire day. We do understand the Fort Lauderdale Airport is open and some planes are scheduled for landing.
I want to just talk briefly about ships, larger boats. There is a possible ship lost out there in the Atlantic. The Coast Guard is already has aircraft up in the air looking around for possible ships in distress. And if this
a bit of a buzz and spark, and the power's not going on around here. So if our people at the those emergency centers could pass that on to Florida Power and Light, the neighbors around here would be most appreciative. If this is your problem, it's at, again, Southwest 32nd Street and State Road 7, just inside Broward County. I want to show you something else, by the way. everybody is out driving again. Since we've been out this morning, the traffic's got steadily thicker. Now, if Mike McNaughton can zoom down there and show you that busy intersection, there isn't a traffic light working in that intersection. Look how hazardous this is. Everybody's out sightseeing. Somebody just pulled up. There's a state trooper trying to get in the mix. The police, by the way, are doing the best they can. Troopers are out watching out at intersections. They intervene when it gets a bit too much, but everybody's out sightseeing. A couple of kids rolled up a second ago and asked if we knew where they could get gas, and when I said, well, do you need to be out driving? They said, yes. I said, what for? They said, to find gas. Again, officials are asking you, stay home if you don't have a real reason to go out, and I'll show you why. Boss, it wasn't our fault. This was at one of those intersections we're talking about. This is Channel 7's live truck Unit 4. As you can see, we took quite a wallop, and Mike McNaughton just wants us to pass along that it wasn't his fault to his boss, but a little of the lighter side of this, but I mean, seriously, folks, I mean, that happened to us in a big truck, and we're watching what we're doing, and we're aware of the situation. If you don't have to go out and drive today, please don't. But again, if anybody at the emergency centers could tell...
We are getting a little more information. It's on Biscayne Boulevard, somewhere in going 185th and Miami Gardens Drive. There you go. Or Miami Gardens is 185th Street, right? So it's near Biscayne Boulevard and Miami Gardens Drive, and we're looking at flooding on Biscayne Boulevard, I assume roughly in the same area. Of that magnitude, about a foot of water.
Okay, this is what you're looking at is...
Some showers. We're going to see breezy conditions, and that will slowly, by tomorrow, get better. But the brunt of this is over, and now it's time for the cleanup. The question will be, where will a storm go now that it's getting into the Gulf of Mexico? And again, we do have watches out for Sabine Pass, Texas, back over to Mobile. So it's...
Didn't lose any strength, did it?
No. What was strange about the whole thing is that it just came in straight west, right across the state, back into another pool of energy over there. And we're in the ball game again.
All right, Tom, thank you.
We have some new tape right now of South Miami. It is Sunset Drive in South Miami. Let's go to that tape right now. New tape of an area that was hit very, very hard. A wonderful, just in case you're not familiar with it, this is a truly wonderful little shopping area. Lots of great restaurants and bookstores and antique stores, and doesn't look so good right now, but of course we are looking at the back of building, but as you can see, there's a tremendous amount of damage. It's
this is located in South Miami, but it's it's in the beginning of that heavy damage in Coral Gables and in Kendall, and it's just they've been devastated there. If you were with us for Carlos Harrison's report, he was saying that the further south he goes, the worse the picture gets.
Sunset Drive is sort of between. Well, it's just south of Coral Gables, I would say. Coral Gables kind of wraps around it. But and this, once again, is JJ's American Diner, very popular restaurant. Can't really tell what kind of damage they have, just the awning maybe down, maybe that's all it is. Across the street, there's quite a bit of damage. A lot of little boutiques there, as I said, antique stores, children's stores. You can see the power lines down.
Those of you trying to gauge the situation by radio, since many of you do not have power and may not have for several days, according to FPNL, we are going to try and remind ourselves to describe these pictures to you and remind you that the travel in these areas is very bad. Since you can't see it and you can hear us on 93.9 FM, every time we see a street, it's blocked by trees, fallen traffic lights and power lines, and a lot of drivers are it's all hell breaking loose. People are just going. They're anxious to get where they're going. There's no order at all in terms of driving.
We listen to it right now.
Hurricane Andrew is now located about 40 miles southwest of Naples, Florida. We've had wind reports of up to 100 miles per hour in the Naples area within the last couple of hours. It was a Category 4 hurricane when it struck Dade County. Anytime a hurricane moves across the peninsula like this, we usually expect it to decrease about one category or Saffir-Simpson scale. It's probably down to about a Category 3 right now. The airplane is in the area right now. I would expect to see it strengthen once it gets over the open water
far as the Gulf of Mexico. It could very well run to the Gulf of Mexico right now. Another source of energy for it. And once it gets out there, this is going to be one of those storms. You hear folks who have lived here a long time talking about Donna, Betsy, Cleo, and this is going to be the storm that the folks who have not gone through one or have only lived here a short time 20 years ago are going to be remembering. And we've only started with this one. Once it gets in the Gulf of Mexico, it's anybody's guess once again. That's why the watches are out for the coast.
Unbelievable that it was able to pass over us and not lose any strength. Have you heard anything at all about the Bahamas? Our reporter Michael Williams was there. We haven't heard anything for hours. Not to alarm anyone. He felt fairly safe. I'm sure it's just that the phone lines are out.
Excuse me one second. I'm getting information from our producer.